So you're thinking about doing some extra prospecting and you want to get out and go door knock. Whew, sounds scary, right? Well, it's not, all right? We're going to give you some tips to be the most effective that you can when knocking doors to get real estate business. So stick around. What's up, everybody? This is Tim Whittemore with the Whittemore Group here with LPT Realty, coming at you with some more great information to help grow your career. I've been through it all right? I've been that single agent, team agent, been a buyer's agent, ops manager, a team lead in multiple states. Man, I've made a lot of mistakes on the way. What I'd like you to do is learn vicariously through me so you don't have to make those same mistakes and you can just take your career off to the next level. Now, they always say that you're the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. Let me be one of those voices to help you get to the next level. So let's talk about door knocking. Man, door knocking. Sounds terrifying, right? Well, as long as you know what you're doing, it's not so bad, right? So what I'd like you to do is follow these 7 steps and these 7 tips to help you kind of get over the anxiety and just get out there and start getting after it. Because this was a great thing that I did when I didn't know a lot of people. When I moved here to the Emerald Coast of Florida, I had to get out and start talking to people because I didn't have a big sphere of influence. So open houses was a big thing that I did. But you don't have to door knock just for open houses. It could be a slew of different things. So let's start with it. Number 1 tip, start with some sort of value. Now, what I would do is I would go out for open houses and invite all the neighbors, right? If I had a listing, maybe it was a just listed, I would go out and tell the neighbors that I just listed a home or just closed or anything of that matter. It could be market updates. Maybe you're trying to build a farm and you want to get face to face with people. That's a great strategy to do so. So make sure that you come with some sort of value. You can usually bring or create some sort of flyers that you can take with you, which of course we'll go into here in a moment. But number 2 is you want to pick a neighborhood or a listing that you want to go around. I wouldn't go into a neighborhood that you don't want additional listings in or you don't feel comfortable knocking on the doors. I know that there's plenty of those neighborhoods, right? So pick one up front to make sure that, hey, this is going to be something I want to continue to cultivate relationships and hopefully cultivate new listings through. Number 3 is to plan it out. What I would do is I would, and still do, go out to Google Maps and not have the actual satellite, but just the regular version, and zoom in just enough where I can see the outlines of the little square houses. And I would go over the specific listing or open house in my scenario, and then I would just count all the different homes around there. I would also highlight the route that I was going to go on so I knew exactly where to go and how many flyers to print. So I'd plan that out. I would also go in my calendars and plan that, hey, for my open house, I was going to first go out for a half hour, 15 minutes, put my signs out, and then right after that I was going to go door knock the community. That way it was just one trip. So I'd have that all planned out, and then we'd proceed. Number 4 was to have a compelling flyer. So that compelling flyer for my open house, I'd never put the listing price on there because I wanted them to ask questions, but I'd take all the prettiest photos, all 3 prettiest photos, and I put them on the flyer, say that there's an open house, specify when the open house is, where it is, how many bedrooms, baths, if it's updated, things like that. And at the very bottom, it would be compliance, where it would have my name and the brokerage in the group that I was part of, if that's applicable to you, and of course your contact information. Make it look pretty. Some of the MLSs will allow you to print something like that too. We use Canva is one thing, and then prior to Canva, I simply just used PowerPoint and created a PowerPoint presentation where I could just pull those different things out. Whatever works as long as it's compelling, right? Number 5 is when you actually go out there. So what I would do is I would print 70 flyers because I was going to go door knock for 2 hours. I'd get a clipboard. I'd clip those in there. I'd take a piece of scotch tape roll and I'd tear a couple of them off, put them on the top, put the rest in my pocket. And I would go then park at the listing or the open house or whatever, or soon to be open house. And then I would just start walking the neighborhood. And I would go door to door. So I would go to the door, and here's that tip, is I would walk up to it and I'd knock on the door. Now, normally you'd wait there and you'd be like, I don't know where to go, I'm scared, and then leave. Don't do that. All right. What I would do is I would sit there and I'd start rocking my feet back and forth because you have happy feet, right? I would smile. I would think about something that would kind of make me laugh a little bit. So somebody who's peeking through the door or something like that, they see somebody smiling, right? So I would wait at least 30 seconds before, if nobody showed up, I would take the flyer, I'd fold it in half, and then tape it to their doorknob. I never put it on paint. People got really upset about that, so we just put it on the doorknob. Okay, but then I would leave if that was the case. Now number 6 was number 6 tip that you really want to ensure here is when you go out, the objective is not to drop off 70 flyers. Okay, and that's just from this scenario. The objective is to talk to people. Okay, you want to talk to people. That's the whole thing with door knocking. So when you knock on the door, you want to leave a good impression. My suggestion always is tilt your head a little bit, smile, and do a little bit of eyebrow flashes. Yeah, I know that sounds corny, but it's one of those 3 tips, just non-verbally, that you can give off to somebody within the first 4 seconds of them meeting you to see if they're going to open their door fully or if they're going to slam it in your face. Nobody slams it in your face, but you get the point. So you go over there, just smile, eyebrow flash, and like, hey, how's it going? I'm trying to invite you to my open house, or whatever it is that you're doing, right? And make sure that you talk with them. Obviously let them know if you're inviting them to an open house, let them know those things, hand them the flyer, and then have a conversation with them if they're willing to. And then get to learn who's in the community, if somebody's looking to sell, somebody is looking to buy, and then, of course, ensure that you get that information from them so that you can, which is in the very last, is to follow up. But before I go on to that tip, one big thing you need to do is make sure that you are talking to people. Don't have the objective just to go out there and hang flyers or door hangers, okay? That's flyering. That is not the same effect as door knocking, okay? Flyering, anybody could do. You could hire a high school kid to go out there and pay him a couple bucks to go hang these things for you. You're a professional, get out there and try to showcase your professionalism in front of them. If they see that and they get to interact with you, you have a much higher probability of them telling you what's going on in the community, or even better, asking you to list their home. All right, but again, last but not least is follow-up. That's the biggest thing. So if you get somebody really nice that you talk to, or somebody that says that, yes, I'd be interested, or somebody in my household is, make sure to write that information down, and hopefully you can obtain a phone number or something like that. Okay, don't expect people to call you back from the flyer. And if you don't have their information, send them a handwritten note. You can put your business card in there if you'd like. Hey, it was so nice to meet you the other day, and then just send that stuff out. And that has a really nice conversion as well. Creating notes, there's a thing called Power Notes that you can Google of how exactly to phrase these with a compelling PS at the very end of it, and it usually is able to just generate these listings for you and future business. But the big thing here too is going to be consistency. Make sure that you're doing this consistently over time, and door knocking can be very lucrative, providing you can do that. But that's all I have for you for how to master door knocking. If you have any questions about anything I mentioned here, please leave it in the comments below. And of course, if you are looking to join LPT Realty or our team here on the Emerald Coast, please reach out to me. I'm always happy to chat with you all. You can get a hold of me via phone, text, email, find me on social media, whatever you got to do. Got your back with moving on with your career. But again, my name's Tim Whittemore with the Whittemore Group here with LPT Realty. We'll see you in our next video. Take care.